Welcome to Keep It Electric with Tremayne Person, episode 14, brought to you by Sonic Shore. It's Sunday, June 25th, and the Seattle Mariners are coming off what I like to call the Battle of the Crab Cakes in Baltimore. Side note, we all know who wins the Battle of the Crab Cakes. It's Seattle. It was never close. See the last episode, you'll understand. However, on the baseball field, the Baltimore Orioles took 2 out of 3 games over the Mariners. The Mariners' current record of 37 wins and 39 losses puts them in 4th place in the AL West, 9.5 games back behind the Texas Rangers. Let's start here with Game 1, where we had a masterclass of pitching put on display by Logan Gilbert. It was a wonderful sighting where every starting batter on the Seattle Mariners recorded at least 1 hit, and all but Jose Caballero recorded at least 1 RBI. It was a straight, full onslaught of offense from the entire Mariners roster as they recorded a new season-high 17 hits on the Baltimore Orioles. The most beautiful part, in my opinion, about the scoring in this game was that only 3 out of those 13 runs scored were on 2 home runs. One in the top of the 3rd by Tom Murphy that scored Gino, and a solo home run by Teoscar Hernandez in the top of the 4th, moving the game 6-0. A sac fly by Tom Murphy in the top of the 2nd, and another in the top of the 3rd by Colton Wong. And the other 8 runs scored in this game were all off singles. May that be a lesson to the Mariners that base hits indeed score runs, and maybe living and dying at the hands of launch angle swings isn't the end-all, be-all, case in point being in just a few moments here. As mentioned earlier, Logan Gilbert was fantastic. He allowed only 2 hits over 7 innings. His only run allowed came off of a solo shot by, Anthony Santander. He had a fantastic series. Topa pitched the 8th, allowing 1 hit that didn't really amount to anything, and Salcedo followed him with a clean 9th inning to wrap up a 13-1 Mariners victory, going up 1-0 in the best of 3. Game 2 was that was a game full of missed opportunities, really for both teams. Many opportunities to blow this game open. It was a game filled with blown calls, especially on balls and strikes. Several base running blunders by the team with the terrible crab cakes. 7 total long balls, respectively, from both teams here. The Mariners ultimately lost this one in extras, 6-4 in favor of the Orioles. But not before 2 clutch solo home runs by Mr. Mike Ford. Mike Ford, he's batting .174, 8 total hits this year, 6 of them being long balls. Now, he is looking better each time at the plate. He's really connecting consistently. He really loves the fastball. That's very obvious. That first home run, the launch angle was the highest launch angle of a home run ever hit by a Seattle Mariners player. You could tell when he connected to the ball. I don't think he even knew it was leaving the park. It was in the sky forever. Mike Ford's launch angle for that one was at 46 degrees. J.P. Crawford also homered in this game, and his launch angle was less than half at 21 degrees. Both left-handed batters to go yard in this one. One interesting stat I noticed was that Mike Ford's first home run in this game would not have been a home run in any of the other major league ballparks. Only Camden Yards would that ball have been ruled a home run, showing that ballpark is really friendly for left-handed batters and still is. Not so friendly for right-handed batters, though. Bryce Miller was the starting pitcher in this game. He lasted 4 1/3. He allowed 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a home run on 95 pitches. Bryce Miller, he did a fine job mixing in his secondary pitches, but the Orioles were very pesky at the plate. They fouled off a lot of his stuff, lengthened their at-bats really well. Alongside the command issues that Miller was already having in this one, they got to our bullpen pretty early. That came back to haunt us in the end. The Mariners had to use 6 relievers in this one. They really had to lean on Justin Topa in the bottom of the 10th in a really hard, high-leverage situation for him. It only took 7 pitches for him to leave one over the plate for Ryan McKenna, and he punished him for it. 2-run walk-off home run. Julio Rodriguez did rob his first home run of his career with an incredible play out in center field. He took a home run away from Ryan O'Hearn, keeping the game close. The biggest issue of all in this game is that the Mariners went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and it's always going to be really difficult to win a game with that statistic. The rubber match of this series took place today with George Kirby taking the mound opposite Kyle Bradish. Kyle Bradish was extremely stingy in this one. He kept the Mariners from really getting anything going. His only blemish was the Cal rally as he hit his 11th home run of the year all the way out to Utah Street. Raleigh's homer scored a Eugenio Suarez, put the Mariners out in front 2-0 in the top of the second. That lead did not last long at all. Anthony Santander hit a 2-run shot in the bottom of the third, tying the game at 2. Kirby was noticeably upset. He's a guy with really tight command. I really don't think he did anything wrong at that at-bat. He kept drilling Santana with fastball high. He tried to drop a curveball low. I think Cal wanted him to bury it a bit lower, but it stayed right at the edge at the bottom of the strike zone. Santander made sure that Kirby was not going to get that ball back. The last run in this game came in the bottom of the 5th when Anthony Bim Boom hit a fly ball single into no man's land by the foul line between right fielder Teoscar Hernandez and second baseman Jose Caballero. Caballero was trying to field it when he unintentionally kicked the ball with his glove further out into foul territory. Jorge Mateo, one of the fastest runners in the league, I believe he was on first in this one. He really turned on the burners, ran all the way around the bases, brought the game to 3-2. The Mariners didn't record another hit until the top of the 9th with Ty France when he singled, interestingly enough, against Felix Bautista, who really brought his A game. He struck out Teo to end the game. He also struck out JP and Julio. Each batter really just looked overmatched to his stuff. They were just outmatched in this one. Final line for Kirby was 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. He was awarded the loss even in the effort of his quality start, moving his record to 6-7 and an ERA of 3.26. Kirby obviously disappointed in his loss and effort, but honestly the guy, he's been really consistent most of this year. He really gave the Mariners the best chance to win this game. Kyle Bradish was just unfortunately better. He had really good stuff. He played really well with his command on his fastball and his slider and just kept the Mariners flat all game. Anthony Santander, though, was a huge backbreaker for us. He went 6 for 12 with 3 homers in this series, 1 in each of those games, and 5 total RBIs. Really a backbreaker. Both of these games could have really gone either way, which really made them both a really fun watch. It's always disappointing to watch the Mariners lose, but there's a little glimmer of life in the ball club, and that is nice. They put up 10 in their last game against the Yankees before they started the series. Turned around and then put up 13 again in Game 1. They lose the series even though they outscored the Orioles, but going 1 for 10 in those last 2 games with runners in scoring position, it's really hard to win games with that type of stat. At least their bats are trending up, though, so the Mariners are going to have a quick turnaround as they're hosting the Washington Nationals for a 3-game series back here in Seattle. I really feel like we need to talk to these schedule makers. The Nationals ballpark is 45 minutes south of Baltimore, but the Nationals are conveniently wrapping up a series right now against the San Diego Padres, so they'll probably be up at T-Mobile Park just waiting for the host to arrive as the Mariners have to fly across the country and host them tomorrow. Now, the Nats are their last place in the NL East. They have a record of 29-47. They've lost 3 out of their last 10 games. At this exact moment, though, it looks like they're about to win a series over the Padres, who are underperforming at a massive level right now. Looks like the Nationals are up 8-2 right now in the bottom of the 9th. They really are a funky team. They're 6th in Major League Baseball in batting average, but second to last in home runs. They're in the lower half lower bottom of of Major League Baseball in RBIs and runs scored. They're also well in the lower half in pitching. They're dead last in strikeouts. So all signs are leading towards the Mariners in this series, but you don't win games in your sleep, obviously. The Mariners are going to need to show up and get this team back up to 500. They're supposed to be competing for a playoff spot, or even, they were considered to be a favorite to win the division at the beginning of this season. So these are those kinds of series that you don't lose. I would like to say that the Mariners need some momentum coming in, not to look too far ahead, but coming in after the Nationals here are the number one team in baseball, the Rays. So they really want to pick up that momentum. Projected to take the mound tomorrow, we have Luis Castillo. He's facing off against Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams is coming off a really good outing against the Cardinals where he pitched 6 innings of shutout baseball, scattered 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. Not really a high strikeout clip for Williams, so I really expect the Mariners to be able to put the ball in play. Luis Castillo's most recent starts haven't really been his best. He's had some high pitch counts. He hasn't really made it through the 6th inning. He'll look to put together a more efficient start in this one, miss some barrels again. The game starts at 6:40 Pacific time. Make sure you tune in as the Mariners work their way back to 500. Lastly, Keep It Electric is now distributed across multiple platforms, including, but not limited to, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Podbean. So thank you so much for listening and keeping up with me. You can keep up with me even further at my Instagram page. It's Keep It Electric. And you can also email baseball-related questions to the mailbag at keepitelectricwithtrey, Tre, @gmail.com. Until next time, keep it electric. Go Mariners.